Zdravo, and welcome back to Belgrade. So it's early morning in Belgrade on a Friday morning, and how I got up this morning is a mystery that will remain unsolved for the rest of my life, I think. It's freezing. And if you're new, welcome. I'm David. I'm from the UK originally, and I've been travelling and working online full-time for the last 3.5 years. I'm currently living and working in Belgrade for a few months. This is my second time here. I was here last year in the summer when it was considerably warmer. If you want to check out those videos, you can check out the link up above. Today we're going to check out something in Belgrade, which I think when anyone Googles Belgrade, this thing comes up. Yes, we're going to try and find some Burek. I don't know how I'm going to eat at this time of the morning, but let's go. Okay, I'm standing on the Belgrade sign at the big roundabout, and before we start, can I just say how wonderful it is to be back in Belgrade. This is such an underrated city. You know, if you are looking for somewhere in terms of long-term travel, or if you're a digital nomad and you're looking for somewhere to stay long-term in Europe that's affordable, Belgrade is fantastic. The people are so welcoming. You know, forget that thing about Eastern European people are blunt and direct. It's rubbish. You know, people in Belgrade are fantastically welcoming and hospitable. I'm loving it here. I'm beyond happy. So on that note, we're going to continue the happiness by having some food. It's just down there. I love the trams stroke streetcars in Belgrade. They're absolutely beautiful. There are so many different types of them as well. Older ones, more modern ones. The place I'm going is just over there next to the streetcar tram, and I've read that it's the best place to go in Belgrade for Buttock. Behind the camera I'm doing quote marks because often when we talk about the best place to go, often it is something that, you know, you've seen on TripAdvisor. It's not necessarily the best place. So if you are from Belgrade, what would be great, put down in the comments what your favourite place to get Buttock is. Thank you. As you can see, there is a bit of a queue. It's not too bad. When you go to bakeries, especially in the morning in Belgrade, you will find a line or a queue, depending if you do American English or British English. But, you know, it's not too bad. Lovely. Let's have a look. Now, as well as adding your suggestions down in the comments around best places to go in Belgrade for Buttock, there's a very important point I would like you to remember. I'm a foreigner. Okay, and if you're from Belgrade or from Serbia, you might be thinking, well, who is this English idiot coming to Belgrade thinking he knows about Buttock? You know what, that's a valid point, because when I see foreigners go to England talking about traditional English dishes and getting everything wrong, it really frustrates me. And I can do research until I'm blue in the face, but there will always be something wrong or I miss something. So you know what, let's turn that into a positive. If you are from Belgrade and you've got an opinion about Buttock or more information to add, put that down in the comments as well, because I'm sure that will add to the viewer's experience. Enough talking, let's eat. Can I get some yogurt as well? Just one, yeah. I have Burek. I'm so happy. Right, let's find somewhere to sit down on a bench that isn't covered in bird shit and eat. And guess what I've got with it, everyone? I've got yogurt. A lot of you tell me you must have yogurt with Burek, so that's what I've done. So let's take the gloves off, chuck them over there, and let's open the Burek. OMG to the max. Look at that. Right, you know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to eat it first, because if you're Serbian, you know everything about Buttock, but if you don't know anything about Buttock, we'll talk about it after, okay? Right, we have Buttock. Wonderful. By the way, there were 2 lines in that bakery, so one of them was for Buttock, the other one was for other bakery items. So I have Buttock with cheese. It's like a filo pastry kind of thing. It's quite heavy, it feels quite heavy, and it's piping hot, so it's beautiful this morning, you know, freezing cold. Right, we've got a bit of Burek. Let's eat. Holy moly, holy crap, Burek is the best. It's like cottage cheese, alright, and the pastry is crispy, it's beautiful, and it's quite light. I was anticipating that it would be quite weighty, you know, because it is heavy, but actually when you eat it, it feels light, so it's a bit of a contradiction. And the cheese is wonderful. It's just like cottage cheese that I would get in the UK, you know. The pastry is similar to like samosa type filo pastry, you know. Apologies, I'm eating with my mouth full. This is just wonderful. I'm speechless. Finally, Burek has happened, people. Right, this is where you Serbians come in. So as far as I'm aware, there are many different types of Burek. You can get ones filled with cheese like this, meat, vegetables. There's also one in that place, I believe, a pizza Burek. It's kind of, I think it's kind of like a novelty one. It's not considered a traditional Burek. And as I said before, it's quite common throughout the Balkans. Burek has history in Turkey and the Ottoman Empire back in the day. Very common, and it comes in lots of different varieties throughout the Balkans. And it's considered very much a staple breakfast dish. To be honest, it feels like something that, you know, I wouldn't eat this every day because it would be quite tough, because when you do eat a lot of it, it does get quite filling, you know. So it's very similar in my mind to something like fish and chips in England, where people say that it, you know, people in England eat that all the time. But in reality, it's not something that is eaten on a daily basis. You know, I don't see people walking around Belgrade having Burek for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Yogurt is the other thing. You've got to have yogurt with it. Another thing I'll say about this pastry is it kind of tastes like pancakes, you know, and when I had cevapi last year, the bread of that had the kind of the same texture and taste. It's stunning. Yeah, absolute pancake, you know what I mean? Okay, people, that is the bakery. The details and the address will be down in the description if you would like to go for some Burek. You'll be glad to know that I had my yoghurt with my Burek. It was a nice little accompaniment, I think, to wash it down with. Beautiful, just normal, generic, natural yoghurt, I think. Now, the thing I want to say about Serbian food, admittedly, I've only had cevapi and Burek so far, so I've definitely only scratched the surface, is that as an English person who previously didn't know much about Serbia whatsoever, I didn't know that Serbian food was so legendary. And I think when we think about food, cuisine around the world, we think of Mexican food, Italian food, Japanese food having that legendary status. Serbian food needs to have that legendary status, and hopefully these videos will go some way to achieving that, because it's hearty, it's filling, it's delicious. I'm loving it, and hopefully going forward we'll be able to experience some more wonderful Serbian food. We're heading back now to where I'm staying. We're approaching, well, we're in Savamala area now. That road up there on the right by Idea, the convenience store, that's where I stayed last time, just up there. And this time I'm kind of central, very close to the main shopping street, Belgrade Fortress, kind of in Dorčol area, Studentsky Park. That's where we're going. And over to the left is Belgrade Waterfront. There's a lot of development going on there, lots of new buildings being built, apartment buildings, that kind of thing. So there's definitely a lot of development in Belgrade. It's not all, you know, these older style buildings. A lot of people say, I've heard it before, communist buildings. They're not communist buildings. What are you talking about? Now that's where I stayed last time, that hostel up there. And I'm a great appreciator, if that's a word, of, it's not a word, of architecture. And this might look just like, you know, a regular boring building, but actually a lot of the architecture in Belgrade is very rustic looking, slightly dilapidated in places, but I think that adds to the charm of it. And in the next video we're going to be heading to Dorčol area, which is absolutely stunning in terms of architecture. I absolutely love it. So make sure you subscribe if you want to check out that video. See, I've got to get that in there somewhere. See what I mean? Balconies, brickwork, graffiti. Yes, that might be vandalism, but I appreciate graffiti. I think it looks great. Plus you have these buildings that are more, you know, generic, just rectangular concrete buildings, but again, I think it's part of the charm of Belgrade. I'm under the bridge now that goes over to Novi Belgrade, or New Belgrade, and Zemun. Did a video there last time. Graffiti. Yes, this might look like a bit of a hellhole that I'm walking through, but actually I think it's quite pretty. Hello, hun. So we're almost home, and I wanted this video to purely be about Burek, hence why we're not going anywhere else. So hopefully this has given you a bit of insight into some more of the food that Serbia has to offer. We'll be exploring some more in upcoming videos. So thanks for watching. I need to go home and do some work now and warm up because I'm freezing my bollocks off. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Havala, do widzenia.